In his influential book, The 48 Laws of Power, Robert Greene highlights the manipulative tactics employed by individuals seeking control. International oil companies, IOCs, operating in Nigeria, are seeking to undermine the operations and profit margins of Africa's largest refinery, the Dangote Refinery, by asking for high premiums for domestically produced crude oil. A senior official of the refinery made the assertion while addressing the media over the weekend. Recall that Dangote Refinery began production of refined products in January after a series of delays. The vice president of the group, Devakumar Edwin, adds that while the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission is trying its level best to allocate crude oil to Dangote Refinery, the IOCs are willfully frustrating their efforts. BKO, we are living in interesting times.
But, I believe that this is a serious matter.
It is.
The interest of our country should prevail over the interest of individuals, over the interest of foreigners who are in our country to make money,
okay,
over the interests of the enemies of our country. And the government has to know what it is doing.
All right.
I say this because the Dangote Refinery, yes, is privately owned, but it's too strategic for our country in these perilous times.
Yeah.
For us to allow it to be frustrated out of reckoning, out of operation. And if we are not careful, because in our country we allow things to degenerate by not taking decisive action at the right time. Whether they are remedial steps or non-remedial steps, we usually don't take the right steps at the right time until things degenerate. We are battling with Boko Haram now because of the lethargic response of successive governments to this scourge.
Okay.
Now, we are all living witnesses to the threat that they constitute to our nation and to its innocent people. A refinery that costs about $19 billion.
Okay.
It's not a refinery that we should allow some individuals
to come and mess with.
To mess up and to make it difficult for it to survive. We have to bear that in mind. Because if we are able to refine petroleum products locally, it will help us to save foreign exchange.
So many things.
Yes, we'll be able to save foreign exchange, and we'll be able to continue to provide jobs for people.
Yeah.
And ultimately boost the economy.
And
you can imagine
a big sigh
the number of people who are directly and indirectly employed in Dangote Refinery.
That's it.
And I ask the question, is it such a big deal? Is it a crime for things to function well in our country? We are in a country where somebody is in charge of running our oil, our public oil company.
Okay.
Our own Petrobras, which is
NNPC.
NNPC. And that person told us back in some months back that they will commence operation in April.
That's it.
They will commence refining at Port Harcourt Refinery. This is June. We are approaching July. That has not happened. We have Warri Refinery, probably our most modern refinery, based on what experts in the sector tell me.
Okay.
Till today, we are not refining. Dangote Refinery is there to ensure that at least we can refine petroleum products. It has a 650,000 barrels capacity.
Yeah.
You know? And you know what this means? Is this 50,000 barrels or 50,000 liters? Is it barrels?
Barrels, yeah.
Good. I want to be sure what I'm saying. Now, the complaint made by Dangote through the VP of the company must be critically looked at.
Yes.
There are Nigerians who say, Dangote has his problem. He's a monopolist. Look at what he has done with the cement business. I pity us as a people. Because you do not like a person.
Yeah.
You are refusing to look at the message. The message.
You hate the man, hate his footsteps.
You are more concerned about his past or what people had said, some of which you didn't investigate. I'm not saying that Dangote is perfect. There are some of his business practices that I do not agree with. And I've talked about them here.
Yeah.
I won't say because he's a billionaire, I can't criticize him. No. It's not too big to be criticized. But what we are saying is, how do we have a refinery that at some point even government had to assist it to complete the refinery, and we have a situation in which it is starved of crude oil. If we are able to refine here, some of the associated costs will disappear, and we will be able to save precious foreign exchange, because 1/3 of our foreign exchange needs goes to importing refined crude, PMS. How much longer do we want to continue? Look at there was something that the man said.
Yeah.
He said from the start of production, more than 3.5 billion liters, which represent 90% of our production, have been exported. We are calling on federal government and regulators to give us the necessary support in order to create jobs and prosperity for the nation. Then he talked about the fact that at the point when government released licenses for people to build refineries, it was only Dangote Refinery that was able to build a refinery and completed it. Now, what I'm scared about, and I see some strands of treason in it, is what the man said when he said, it appears the objective of the IOCs is to ensure that Nigeria remains a country which exports crude and imports refined petroleum products. This is what we have been doing for decades due to bad, if not irresponsible leadership. You can't have a country that is one of the biggest oil producers in the world importing refined crude, refined petroleum crude from other countries. You are boosting the economy of other countries while killing yours. There has to be a way to get the IOCs to focus more, because even the law, let me see if I can get that portion.
Petroleum Industry Act.
Oh, there is a portion of that act that talks about the percentage.
Yeah, that's 109.
Of the production that should be local.
Okay.
It doesn't mean because you are an IOC, you are interested in making money. All of the crude that you produce, you ship abroad.
Yeah.
We have that problem even with liquefied petroleum gas. And the Minister of State Gas was appealing the other day that the IOCs should produce for local production. I think, okay, I have in a domestic crude oil supply obligations enunciated under Section 109, subsection 2 of the Petroleum Industry Act. Says that you have to produce a quantum of your product for local consumption. So if we simply leave them to produce crude oil and they are pushing it abroad, sending it to their own countries of origin, then this refinery will let follow. Dangote has had to pay over the odds for crude oil. above the market price, above the prevailing market price, because these IOCs are making life difficult for him. They all want to be pushing.
But don't you think they can be whipped into line?
Of course they can. Why do we have the petroleum minister is there? It's our country, for God's sake. You are in our country to make money. You have to live by our rules. And if you know that this is going to be hot food to your economy, you've got to take steps to address the situation.
We need the intervention of the president, who also understands the workings of the industry. He started out with Mobile as an accountant, as an auditor. So he understands the cartel
dynamics,
and the cartel who runs the oil industry. After the drug cartel, the oil cartel is the next one. And I'm happy that we have a president who understands what goes on in the oil industry, and he must step in as a matter of urgency. In fact, we are calling President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to step in so that they won't turn Dangote Refinery to another Warri or Port Harcourt refinery.
Yeah.
Because
or Kaduna.
Or Kaduna. Because the section BQ just quoted is like giving local producers the right of forced refusal.
That's it.
I mean, simply put, or in economics, what we call proximity to source of raw material. So how would Dangote be operating in Nigeria and be importing crude oil
from US?
From US. And now when they even decide to sell to him, Dangote is paying $6 above the international oil price, I mean, at a premium, to buy Nigerian crude produced there far. So the president should come in and wield the big stick. Now, thank God the president is the Minister of Petroleum Resources. He supervises that sector because of the importance of that sector. And now, in Dangote's own words, he said he thought it was a joke. But why they are doing, that was in, I think, was it Ethiopia or South Africa about 2-3 weeks ago, during the annual meetings of the African Development Bank. He said he got a call by some of them are saying, young man, you are building a 650,000 refinery, and how do you want to do it? How do you hope to do it? He said that was about 5-6 years ago, and he said he's dreaming it and he's going to do it. You know, the problem now is some of the IOCs, the international oil companies, the owners of those companies own vessels. And according to Dangote, those vessels, about 20, we have in every month 24 vessels bringing refined petroleum products to Nigeria. Every month, 24 vessels. So if they continue to give Dangote crude oil, it will kill business for those, quote and unquote, 24, for their 24 vessels.
Yeah.
And each of these vessels bring in as much as 2 million liters, 5 million liters of refined petroleum products. So that is what...
When they are going back,
they
don't want to go back empty.
They don't want to go back empty. They want to carry
them crude.
Our crude. So that is where the Nigerian upstream and also the midstream and downstream needs to come together and implement the Petroleum Industry Act, Section 109, subsection 2, that says you must sell crude to domestic producers.
Yes.
And
it's rational.
It's just rational and normal.
Yeah.
So, whether you are, Nigerians might want to ask, is it not our oil? No, it's not. It doesn't work like that. The Shells of this world, the Chevrons, joint venture operators, they produce this crude and sell on behalf of Nigeria. So the ones owned by NNPC and other local producers, probably out of our 1.5 million, or between 1.5 and 1.7 million barrels that we do per day.
Yeah.
I think the local producers from the Agbami oil field and that OPL 215 or thereabouts, those ones, I don't think combined, I don't think they can do more than 250,000. And Dangote needs 650,000 barrels per day. Even now, it's not even operating at that fully installed capacity.
They've had to reduce outputs.
It's doing just about half of that.
Okay.
And they can't even give him...
Because of exigencies.
Yes. Yeah. And they will tell you that...
because it's not getting supply.
It's not getting enough supply. So, and he plans to push PMS, that's a premium motor spirits, the one we call Petrol.
Yeah.
He plans to push it into the market next month. So if he fails to get enough crude oil, which means they cannot meet that target. So that is why the president needs to come in. And the advantages of a Dangote producing, or rather getting enough crude oil to produce locally, is that it will reduce the pressure on our naira-dollar exchange rate.
It will, greatly.
It will.
It will.
So this is what these characters are trying to stop, and we must not allow them.
We must determine who owns Nigeria between wayward marketers and the rest of us.
Yeah, the IOCs
remember,
and the local collaborators.
Yes, I'm talking about marketers now. Those marketers, I hear that, okay, they've issued licenses to people to bring in products. Yeah. You know?
Import license.
Yes, gave them import license. Marketers in the past collected
those licenses.
Subsidy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Collected money to bring in subsidized petrol.
That's it.
On the high seas, many of them diverted the vessels. Some ended up in neighboring Benin Republic. Some were jailed, you know. Luckily, we were able to jail some of those enemies of our country who collected subsidy, money for petroleum subsidy, and did not supply.
Yeah.
Because it was convenient for them to simply sell it on the ICs. They were doing that. Now, I'm not saying don't give people import licenses, even at a time when you told us, oh, your refineries will soon start working. Dangote too will soon start working. You are giving so many people licenses. That is not my issue. If you must give people licenses, then, or if there is a deluge of applications for import license to bring in crude,
okay,
then increase the duty.
Yeah.
Increase the duty to save local refining efforts.
Yeah.
Because if everybody can bring in crude, bring in PMS from foreign countries, then what will happen to our own refineries here? Why did we build refineries if we don't want to put them to use? I just hope that it's not the same way that we treated our own refineries that we want to treat Dangote's refinery. Somebody has invested in our country when some of his mates have stolen heavily from us and have chosen to look for investment, for havens, offshore havens,
elsewhere,
you know, where you will not have access to the money, and sometimes when they die, the money
goes like that.
Yes, to the resident.
BK and Jami, you know, a cynic once told me, do you know that on every barrel of crude oil, you have 42 byproducts?
Even more than that.
So each time...
more than that. There are over 100.
Okay, so...
Almost 250.
If Dangote is encouraged to refine locally, those byproducts will stay here.
Of course. You import lube oil. We import tons of lube oil into our country, whereas our refineries can produce lube oil.
Yes.
Dangote Refinery can produce fertilizers.
Yes.
You know, we say we want to have an agric revolution. That refinery can produce all of the fertilizers that we need in our country.
That's it. And we'll save money.
Yes.
3 million.
We'll save money.
So we just can't continue. You can't allow marketers to do what they were doing during the Jonathan era. You know, when they will collect full subsidy and we won't see product. You see, people don't want things to change. I believe that there's a reluctance on the part of even the NNPC people, because they've been used to years of stealing from the rest of us without blinking an eye. Stealing remorselessly from us, lying about our consumption level and all that. I understand that even as we speak, they are saying, oh, there's a lot of smuggling of Nigerian petroleum petrol across the border. And they are piling pressure on the president now that he should let them increase petrol price. At this time, somebody will tell him, Mr. President, that this is the time to increase because they are buying it at 1,300 and something, 1,400. In those neighboring countries.
How does it get to those
places? How do we, if you are saying, if you are, as a country, we are allowing hundreds of tankers to move across the border, we are permitting it, and now we are talking about smuggling again. We are allowing hundreds of tankers to move across the border. The president must make heads to roll. Immigration, customs, they have no business allowing one tanker, either in Katsina, where we have multiple, multiple smuggling routes and all that. Either in Katsina or Ayetora, all of these communities here. Nobody has the right to smuggle Nigeria's petroleum products across the border and then create some level of scarcity here. There's a level of scarcity that we are facing even here in Lagos.
Oh, yeah.
You see long queues because people are shipping our PMS across the border. We need to stop that. The president, I repeat, must not listen to anyone who says at this time that we should increase the price of petrol. He must not even allow 1 naira to be added. What our people are going through is enough. And what our people are going through is enough. And petrol is at the epicenter of inflation in our country.
Simply put,
the price of petrol.
If Dangote starts production of petrol, it will crash petroleum prices.
Oh, it will.
So why are people
even if it doesn't crash, because when we talk about crash, some will be thinking it will come to 150.
Not 150.
Even if it doesn't crash, at least it will, the landing cost will reduce.
That's it.
It will go down.
And why I use that language is because Dangote has been able to stabilize diesel prices. At a point, diesel was at 1,800. Today, it's hovering between 1,001 and 1,200.
That's it.
And it's because of the exchange rate.
Because of the exchange rate. That's why
it could have been lower.
It could have been lower. So if you start producing petrol, we will eliminate landing costs and so many other costs. Then storage costs in those tanker farms.
Yeah, gentlemen, the popular saying used to be, when you pour oil on troubled waters, what do you pour on troubled oil? As we are facing now.
It's oil.
Oil blood.
Oh, come on, none.
You see, petrol is a security product.
Oh, yeah, it is.
It is one product that can set the nation ablaze if our leaders don't handle the situation very well.
That's it.
The president must not succumb to the temptation to increase fuel prices because they are saying that they are sending it across the border and they are buying it. If they are buying petrol at 1,400 naira in Benin Republic, that's their problem. It's a product that God gave us. Nigerians have suffered enough over this product. There should be no increase to petrol price. What are the people saying, talking about, okay, there is subsidy. What is their business if there is subsidy? Is it your subsidy?
Also, BK, I think the president should also look at the NNPC. In December, the NNPC promised that, that they told us that they have hit mechanical conclusion of Port Harcourt Refinery.
6 months after.
We are approaching July. They are yet to leave the mechanical conclusion. So when are they going to get to the petroleum conclusion or diesel conclusion? Quote and unquote.
Kiari should tell us. He should address Nigerians. It's just that it is a sector where there is no transparency.
I think the president should make a scapegoat of some
know
people
what is going
so that
on.
they can sit
What
tight.
is going on? How do you promise? How do you sit? How do you face the camera and tell Nigerians that, oh, by April ending, Petroleum Refinery will not work? And this will start working. This is July. You do not have the cheek. You do not have the cheek to tell Nigerians that, sorry, I made a promise to you. Now, in other places, that is enough to get you out of your job.
Yeah.
No,
come on.
Let me also blow your bubble. NNPC is the only entity importing petroleum products to Nigeria.
Majid, let's stop saying that.
No, some people are profiting. Some people are profiting from that.
I know that is a lie. Let's not say that, because as journalists, we are in the business of informing people.
But no,
every time they tell you that they are the only ones, it's a lie.
No, they import the big actions.
They should tell us, but they should not. People should be beginning that they are the only.
They are also benefiting from subsidy.
That dirty fuel that they brought the other day.
That's it.
How did we know that it wasn't NNPC that brought it in? It was one of the agents now that brought it in. So they should leave us out of this life. They are the only ones.
But they sublet.
But that does not mean that they are the ones. Some of their friends, they allow them to import. Let them come sit before me and tell me. I will mention some of the people that are joining them in importing.
It's like a cartel.
Let's not join them in saying that it's only NNPC that imports. They are not the only ones who import.
All right, gentlemen.
So they want to continue.
Okay, let's observe this first break. We'll go on a short break, but please stay. We should be back very shortly. Thank you. All right, folks, welcome back. Please do know that on this program, as gentlemen of the Fourth Estate, our business is to mold opinion and allow decision makers to take advantage. How do we take this home now?
Yes, for me, government should just ensure that the citizens are not put into further hardship.
Yeah.
Constant importation of fuel is not good for the Nigerian economy. Encourage homegrown businesses. Encourage people to build modular refineries. Encourage people to get involved in oil prospecting. NNPC does not have the capacity to cover all of the work that they are supposed to do. This is a sector where some of the big players have already divested. They've left Nigeria.
Okay.
Encourage Nigerian business, Nigerian companies to move in. Those places that, because when they say, oil theft is the reason we are not producing enough, it's a lie. There is no way a big oil major will leave your country and it will leave gaps in production. Part of the problem, yes, part of the problem is that we are not even producing enough because some have left. They've left and we've not found a way to replace them. Encourage, there are Nigerians who are interested in getting involved. Yes, give them space to operate and they will deliver.
Yeah.
Yes, they will deliver. So, but we are not doing that. We need to do that. Also encourage people to build modular refineries. Make the situation a lot conducive for them to build modular refineries. Let's encourage refining at home because it will create jobs. It will help us to conserve foreign exchange. And it will have a ripple effect on the economy.
Ease tension in the country.
The foreign exchange, the Naira will appreciate because of the pressure from the pressure on our foreign exchange as a result of importation of foreign refined petroleum product is huge. 1/3 of our foreign exchange needs. You can imagine if we don't have to import petrol.
Oh yes.
You can imagine.
Oh yeah.
You know, so people should think about this and help Dangote. We are not saying he's a saint. You are not going to hear that from me. But we cannot open our eyes and watch the company go down.
Yeah.
Because it's too strategic, it's too crucial. And this is a company that will earn foreign exchange for us because they are also refining from here and selling to clients abroad. So we have every reason to encourage the Dangote Refinery to continue its job. And Mr. President, as the oil minister, And the Minister of State, his assistant, Lokobri, they must ensure that the refinery gets supply of crude to keep it going. Yeah. That is. Otherwise, we'll stay on the matter. We'll continue to shout here until what is necessary is done.
MJ, how do you take this up? How do you bury this?
The government should put some fire to that Petroleum Industry Act that says that local refineries should be given priority. And I think that's section 109, subsection 2 of the Petroleum, giving domestic crude oil supply obligation to domestic producers. So, and Dangote, for example, 650,000 barrels per day translates about 110 million liters of PMS, diesel, dual-purpose kerosene, Jet A4, and so many other components. And if this one is available for us locally, it will reduce the pressure on the Naira dollar exchange rate.
It so greatly.
Because it's even higher than our daily consumption.
Yes. And it has, well, I don't think we do more than, we don't consume more than 40, 50 million liters per day now.
No, they are trying to deceive the president now that we are producing, we are consuming in the region of 70. They are trying, I'm blaming it on smuggling.
Even at that, if 650,000 barrel capacity, because one barrel gives you 170 liters. If you do the arithmetics, a minimum of 100 million liters from Dangote alone can sustain us locally and even leave some for export.
Yes.
Already now is giving, he has reduced the pressure in the aviation sector. They don't have to import Jet A4. It started with aviation fuel, which is Jet A4. Jet A1. So it started with that. And also diesel. I mean, he has stabilized the diesel market. So now he wants to go to PMS, which is what everybody...
That's the cash cow.
That's the cash cow. So they are trying to frustrate him. God will not allow them. And the president will act.
God won't allow them.